Believe it or not, yes, I did finally mow the lawn. That marks the first mow of August and hopefully the last. At least for me anyway. Okay, that'll put me at 1. I'm just gonna make that declaration right now. That number's not going up. Maybe not. So this is a first for us. We have a huge backlog of full episodes waiting to be edited. As you probably already know, the newest episode is out with me and Thomas and Sierra. We hiked in the Lost Creek in Colorado. It was one of the coolest hikes I've ever seen in my life. It's available on Patreon. But in addition to that, we have an entire side video that'll probably be like an hour. We have an entire road trip episode with me, Thomas, and Andrew in Colorado. We have an entire boating trip thanks to Max from GreatLakesWatercraft.com. And before we can even get to editing those 2 episodes, we're gonna have not 1, but 2 episodes filmed in Japan, and probably a bunch of side videos as well. This is kind of where we've always wanted to be, which is already have a bunch of stuff in the pipeline and then constantly be adding to it as other stuff leaves. That way there's never any long breaks between stuff, even if things take a really long time to edit. And you know, this Japan trip has been in the works for so long that I really just want it to start happening already. Even if things go wrong and like we plan something incorrectly, I would rather have that than just this looming cloud of never-ending things that we need to get taken care of before we go. But we're already pretty much around the final bend, so I think it'll be fine. The interesting thing is, a lot of people who are subscribed to the channel now are subscribed because of the videos that I did while I was in Japan in 2019. And when I made those videos, nobody had any expectations for what they were gonna be. Including ourselves, I had no idea that they would get as many views as they did. I certainly did not expect any of them to get over 1 million views. And there's an opportunity to be psyched out by that and be like, oh man, how are we ever gonna follow that up? But that's kind of the same for any videos we make. I'm going to focus on making the best video I can. I will do my very best to package it in a way that will get it in front of the most eyeballs, and the rest of it is up to people's taste. And the good news is, since making videos is not a live performance, I won't have people actively telling me whether I'm doing it wrong or not. That'll come later. So I've talked about my bag lust before, but the funny thing is I don't really buy anything. I just kind of look at reviews and I'm like, oh, that's a nice bag. And I think part of what's so appealing about bags is the possibility it represents. It's like, oh man, just imagine if I had that bag when I was traveling. Oh man, that'd be so great. But actually, I do want another bag for a very specific purpose. We actually set aside a little bit of time to get accustomed to the jet lag and also just do a little bit of sightseeing before we actually start filming. And I want a tiny, slim bag that is good for crowded, slim areas. And I want it super simple. No straps all over the place, no hip straps, nothing. I want it nice and contained. So I decided on a few bags. I ended up ordering all of them. I'm just gonna return the ones I don't want. But the first one that arrived is the Bellroy Via backpack. This one is actually dangerously close to being form over function because it looks so nice, but it does lack a couple of things that I would like it to have. One of them being little outside pockets so that if you just want to quickly stuff like a receipt or something in there, you can do that. It has one top pocket, which basically can hold a pair of headphones or sunglasses. It has one inside pocket and then a simple cavity. I just put some random stuff in here. And then a sleeve back here, which is normally for a laptop, but I'm gonna put a water bladder here. So we will see if the other options that I ordered are better than this, but this is actually basically all I want. Something super slim, one pocket, super light. It's not gonna have flaps going all over the place. I just love bags, man. All of my other hobbies, I'm not embarrassed about. Even if they're embarrassing, I'm like, I don't care. But for some reason, when it comes to bags, it just feels so weird. It's like, why do I like them so much? And there's plenty of other people who like them too, so there's nothing to be embarrassed about. But nonetheless, I am kind of embarrassed. I don't know, man. I just got that bag lust. Just love a good bag. Come on, man. Okay, time to get some lunch. Man, say what you will, but they steam a good ham. Do you ever feel like there's so many things in life that you kind of gravitate back towards like the middle? When I was in college, I knew somebody who called me a minimalist back before I even knew what the term minimalist was, and well before it was at the height of its popularity back like in 2015. And there was definitely a time where I was just really enamored with the idea of having absolutely only the essentials. But one thing I found from really paring stuff down is that there's just too many times where you need to have like a small reserve of various things that you don't use all the time. You might not even use it every year. That's why I have all these bins here, is it's filled with stuff that I don't use that often, but I need it on occasion. But what I'm getting at is either direction, really minimalist, or just keep everything. Even if I veer towards one side or the other, I always find myself eventually getting back to like basically my starting point. So like I might have like these new ideas about things, and then it's weird how it's just, I kind of naturally gravitate back towards my set point. These long-lasting big changes in your life, there's not that many of them. Even when you change, lots of times you'll just fly back towards the center. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing or anything. It's just an observation that so many things, just like I can have a really strong idea about something for a while, and then eventually I'm like, you know, the middle way is usually the way. I haven't been playing it, but last night I busted out the Analog Pocket and I threw on a little Chrono Trigger, and you know, it just feels really good to focus on something. I think that is something that I really cherish, is actually having something that you can just focus on. The novelty of just constantly flitting from one new thing to the next is really, it's kind of like eating junk food. It tastes good in the moment, but it doesn't have the same long-term satisfaction that you get from eating like a real meal. One thing that is the result of making media becoming so much more accessible is there's just so much more of it. And there's so many games coming out every single day that it becomes increasingly difficult to say, this is the game I'm playing, this is what I'm focusing on, and not always being like, oh man, there's another game coming out, oh look at that one, look at that one. And I just felt like it's been so long since I sat down with one game and just really played it from start to finish. Which is not actually true, by the way. I've played plenty of games from start to finish without focusing on other games. Like, I played Xenoblade Chronicles 3 from start to finish. It took like 60 hours over the course of a month. I wasn't playing any other games at that time, I don't think. But nonetheless, I was like, oh man, you know, I really just want to sit down with Chrono Trigger and play it. You know, really get absorbed into the world and experience it for all of its different flavors. So one of the other options I ordered has arrived. This is the Fjallraven Raven 28 liter. It is roughly the same size, but it packs out a little bit farther. I want one that's slim. I don't want it to pack out too far. This is such a nice bag. It's got the side pockets, front area, another front area, main cavity, and water bladder. And see, I'm not planning on carrying that much. It's like there's not that much stuff in here, and I don't really need there to be that much stuff. So the extra space that this one provides, I don't necessarily need it. And would I prefer it to be slimmer? I don't know, it's funny. I thought ordering these bags would make my choice easier, but it's kind of making it harder. See, also, I'm not entirely sure that this actually gives you more space. So I've got a bunch of stuff packed in here, but everything that's in here right now I can fit into the other backpack. So I'm gonna take everything that's in here and put it in the other backpack. And it looks like this. This is the exact same amount of stuff. So I guess all the extra layers on this one just add a little bit of extra depth. I don't know. This one still seems more versatile, but this one is just so compact and tidy. That's more what I want. I just want compact and tight. Well, if you're curious what I had in here, AirPods, sweatshirt, rain jacket, analog pocket, random cables, memory card holder, pillow, tech pouch, water bladder. It's like you can hold a surprising amount of stuff in this tiny backpack. I've got one more option coming in that I need to test out, and then after that I can make my decision. But right now the Bellroy Via is the front runner. Okay, anyway, now it is finally time to see Oppenheimer. For those curious, they did extend the showing by like a week, but they didn't email me about it. I thought I signed up for the mailing list, man. I'll let you know how it is. It's like 3 hours long. We'll see if I fall asleep. Thanks for watching as always. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. I don't know, I just got that. I want to use the other lens. I don't know, man, I just got that